Alton Towers, nestled in the picturesque Staffordshire countryside of England, stands proud as the United Kingdom's most popular theme park. Their record-breaking attractions has firmly established Alton Towers as an icon in the world of theme parks, and among one of its most infamous rides is the Smiler rollercoaster, which was brought in for their 2013 season. However, just 2 years after the Smiler debuted, a harrowing incident not only shook the park, but the entire amusement industry to its core. What happened that day would go down as one of the United Kingdom's most infamous rollercoaster crashes. So, what happened? This is the Smiler disaster, the incident at Alton Towers. Alton Towers, located in Staffordshire, England, is by far the most popular theme park in the United Kingdom. With a history dating back to the early 1800s, it holds a prominent place among amusement park enthusiasts all over the world. The origins of the park trace back to the early 1800s, where it served as a hunting lodge for the Earl of Shrewsbury. Over time, the estate gradually opened its scenic gardens to the public, allowing visitors to appreciate the natural beauty the area had to offer. The early 20th century marked the introduction of leisure activities such as a miniature railway and a boating lake. However, the transformative phase commenced in 1980 when the Two Swords Group took ownership, ushering in a deliberate shift from scenic gardens towards a modern theme park. The 1980s saw the introduction of substantial roller coasters such as the Corkscrew, followed by groundbreaking attractions like Nemesis in the 1990s. The park's evolution continued through the 2000s, introducing record-breaking rides like Oblivion and Air, solidifying its reputation in the theme park world. With great hype, Alton Towers introduced the Smiler rollercoaster to its lineup in May 2013. In 2011, the plans for the Smiler were conceived and were approved 1 year later. German company Goetzler were hired to build the new rollercoaster, which was set to debut for Alton Towers' 2013 season. The Smiler's marketing used teasers, social media, press events, and merchandise to build excitement, ensuring a successful debut. As a child, I used to frequent Alton Towers every year and remember the marketing well. They did an amazing job of building up excitement, and the marketing efforts resulted in a successful launch, creating a strong foundation for the Smiler's popularity and recognition. When opened, the Smiler was the world's first 14-loop roller coaster. The track length is 1,170 meters long and reaches a top speed of 85 kilometers per hour. The safety restraint includes an over-the-shoulder restraint, and the height requirements are 140 centimeters tall. By 2015, the Smiler rollercoaster was one of the park's most popular attractions, with thousands a year flocking to the park to ride. Two of these people were Vicky Balch and Leah Washington, who on the 2nd of June 2015 would ride the Smiler, resulting in their lives changing forever. That day, despite heavy winds of up to 46 miles per hour, the Smiler was operating as it should. Some other rides in the park had closed due to winds, but the ride operators decided to keep the ride open. Around 1 PM, a ride operator noticed a warning light on the ride's control panel, signalling a potential issue. Visitors were evacuated from the ride, and assistance was requested from the park's engineers. This caused the line for the Smiler to grow, which prompted the park to add an extra carriage on the track whilst dealing with the alert to get more people on the ride for when they reopened again. They sent the added empty train round the track to test everything was working okay, but it failed to make it up the incline, which once more prompted an emergency alert warning. 2 more engineers arrived to fix the issue, but were never told about the 5th train. Believing there were only 4 on the track, they overrid the safety warnings and got the ride going again, unaware that the 5th train was still stuck on the track. The 4 trains were loaded with 16 people, including Vicky Balch and Leah Washington, who sat in the first car. Unaware the track was occupied with the 5th empty train, the ride operator started the ride, and the Smiler set off at 1:43 PM. The ride was now approaching the first incline, but the ride's computer system halted it, signalling an occupied track section ahead. This meant that the train had stopped. An engineer then had a look into why the car had stopped, and located the 4 trains on the track. He was unable to see the 5th train, so couldn't find a reason why it would stop. Under pressure from management, he overrid the error, and the Smiler once more set off. This caused the train at full speed to collide into the stranded train. Witness Olivia Marston, who had been on the ride earlier that day, said, "The bang was horrendous. Absolutely horrific. Everyone crowded round the area, and there were lots of screams. Alton Towers staff did quickly evacuate the area, and it was shut down as fast as it could have been." Although everyone was panicking, people on the ground didn't realise the severity of the crash. The passengers were now hanging at an angle and trapped in the air. It took 20 minutes for the first 999 call to be made, and emergency services rushed to the horrific scene. The rescue mission, however, was anything but easy. Over 30 firefighters cooperated with ambulance squads and Alton Towers engineering staff. This situation also required the presence of 3 trauma consultants from a nearby hospital to provide essential care to passengers present. Staffordshire Fire and Rescue stated, "The first thing was the difficulty in getting access to the ride itself. We had to go down steep steps to get to the accident itself. There were a lot of people already there, and we could see that this was not going to be an ordinary rescue. The rescue operation took approximately 4 hours to safely evacuate all the passengers from the roller coaster. Among the worst injured was Leah Washington, Vicky Balch, and Joe Purr. After the rescue mission was complete, the Smiler was shut down, and the investigation was launched." The incident involving the Smiler led to a thorough investigation by the Health and Safety Executive, the regulatory body responsible for ensuring workplace safety in the UK. The investigation aimed to determine the cause of the collision and identify any lapses in safety procedures or negligence that may have contributed to the accident. The collision resulted from communication failure and human error. The ride's safety system detected track obstruction, but staff ignored it, which caused the collision. As a result of the investigation, Merlin Attractions Operations, who own Alton Towers, faced charges under the Health and Safety at Work Act 1974. Specifically, the company was charged with breaching Section 3 of the Act, which requires employers to ensure the health and safety of non-employees who might be affected by their operations. In 2016, Merlin Attractions Operations pleaded guilty to the charges and was fined £5 million, reduced from an initial $7.5 million due to the company's guilty plea. The company acknowledged its responsibility for the accident and expressed remorse for the injuries suffered by the riders. In terms of individual criminal charges, the employees involved in operating the Smiler on that day of the incident were not subjected to any criminal prosecution. However, the incident did lead to renewed emphasis on safety procedures and the importance of proper training for amusement park employees. Vicky Balch and Leah Washington were the 2 who suffered the most serious injuries. Vicky had her right leg amputated below the knee, while Leah had her left leg amputated above the knee. After the accident, both women received medical treatment and underwent surgeries to address their injuries. They faced a challenging recovery process, both physically and emotionally, as they adapted to their new circumstances. Both Vicky and Leah received multi-million-pound payouts. Leah's boyfriend Joe had his knees crushed and had to learn to walk again. He also received a payout of around £100,000. This story, however, does have a bit of a happy ending. Vicky Balch and Leah Washington showed remarkable resilience and courage throughout their recovery journeys and became advocates for improving safety standards in the amusement park industry. Leah got engaged to Joe in 2022, and they are set to marry this year, and Vicky Balch got married in 2021. The victims have gone on to lead very fulfilling lives, and have all gone on to praise emergency services who worked tirelessly to save them that day. The Alton Towers incident had a significant impact on the theme park's industry approach to safety, leading to increased scrutiny of ride operations, stricter safety protocols, and improved communication systems to prevent similar accidents from occurring in the future. After 8 months, the Smiler reopened and hasn't had any incidents since. I'm glad for once we could end the video with some positive news on the victims, and I'm glad they have recovered and are living good lives. As always, this is not an AI channel, I do everything myself, and if you appreciate my work, subscribe, and if you want to go the extra step to support the channel, maybe consider becoming a member. And as always, thank you for watching.